and you know how to forget all the wrongs and every reason why we've changed. And there's a storm inside my head, it's getting me in trouble, baby, and I can't break away. I thought that I could keep it low, take it easy, take it slow. We ended up just like before, so take it easy, take it easy. I thought that I could keep it low, take it easy, take it slow. We ended up just like before, so take it easy.
Our lips, they tasted like those cigarettes. Staring at the moon, we'd go to bed. In my arms, you're safe and sound, without a threat. And I can't wait to see what happens next. How far can we get if we sail a little bit high, a little bit low? How far can we get if we sail a little bit high, a little bit low? We're still a little bit young, but I'm all in. We're still a little bit dumb, but I'm all in. We're still a little bit young, but I'm all in. We're still a little bit dumb, but I'm all in. Our lips, they tasted like those cigarettes. Staring at the moon, we'd go to bed. In my arms, you're safe and sound, without a threat. And I can't wait to see what happens next. How far can we get if we sail a little bit high, a little bit low? How far can we get if we sail a little bit high, a little bit low? We're still a little bit young, but I'm all in. We're still a little bit dumb, but I'm all in. We're still a little bit young, but I'm all in. We're still a little bit dumb, but I'm all in. and be a little bit high, a little bit long, completely alone.
Welcome to the new world of Max and introducing May.
South-facing windows.
A new way to imagine your space. LG Wash Tower.
Waiting for somebody like me. Took you out and showed you the city. How'd you let somebody so pretty's what they said to me? Yeah, that's what they said to me. Well, they told me I didn't stand a chance, yeah. Face value, had you at a glance, yeah. But nobody ever asked if you could dance, yeah. Well, only one who did that was somebody like me. When you asked my name, I panicked, so out of my league. And your body was so magnetic. Before I knew it, we talked and I think about you, a cocktail. You told me that you've been waiting for somebody, somebody like me. You told me that you've been waiting for somebody like me. You told me that you've been waiting for somebody, somebody like me. Somebody like me.
Don't think he ever really knew me. I have run quite a think he ever really knew me. I have run quite a distance, so in some ways I'm truly different. In some way I kept my soul. I ain't got time if you want me to freeze up. I'm new now, I found the flow. I'ma need you to keep up, not slowing down anymore.
What you want, don't ever call me a sidekick. You know what I want, girl, I'm tryna make you my chick. Hey yo, excuse me, please don't confuse me. Liquid in my cup, I keep it juicy, juicy.
I used to be like that way back then. I was way back then. I had rings back then. I'm on the tip in case the ops pull up. My homie Tommy always had the hook up.
What you want, don't ever call me a sidekick. You know what I want, girl, I'm tryna make you my chick. Hey yo, excuse me, please don't confuse me. Liquid in my cup, I keep it juicy, juicy.
I used to be like that way back then. I was way back then. I had rings back then. I'm on the tip in case the ops pull up. My homie Tommy always had the hook up.
On the book and finding all what is inside.
Good evening everyone, welcome for tonight's round. We are at the circuit Le Castellet in France as we are heading here for the 5th round of the Formula Master League to by FRL. Here we are in Paul Ricard in one of the 300 configuration of this racing circuit, which was once in the F1 calendar, which is not anymore. Hope everybody will have a good time looking at tonight's race, as there are currently 24 drivers on track. As always, the silver category will be the first one to be on track and to start their qualifying session. Tom Gordon will be the first one to be on the main TV feed for us tonight. In terms of lap time, we are looking for likely 52, if possible, in qualifying. That would be an absolute perfect lap though. As I suspect many will be on the 54. I think that Paul Ricard is one of the least used racetrack in the entirety of the sim racing community, mainly because it's not really a fancy track, this one here. Not many people like it, but for now we are after the long straight into Sainz, turn 8, slightly off there, into Bussa, which is turn 9, a long 180-degree hairpin. Then it starts with the technical zone with Bendor, Galaban, Lach and Pont. Turn 10, 11, 12 and 13. Currently the pole up is a 55.5. As I stated earlier, 52 will be the perfect one. As Tom Curtin crosses the line in second place in number 81, 54, apologies, 0.2. As Forbes jumps the Irish driver to get into P2, provisionally P2 in the standings. the McLaren number 2, Jordan here with the Ford Mustang, which will be helpful in this particular section of the racetrack. 2 kilometers and more long straight line. Oh, that was an off track for the 105, so no improvement whatsoever for him, but Jordan certainly will be grateful to the French gods to have such a long straight line, which will practically deliver the entirety of the Mustang's opportunities into place. As a matter of fact, in the last round it was for Mustang winning, with Sadlowski driving the Mustang number 122 in the buffers. Even there, massive straight line, which is also the only realistic overtaking chance in the Australian racetrack, as Brown is now a position below, as Schneiderman is now in 9th place in number 59. But Lammer is currently in 4th place, gets into 2nd, 3.5 tenths away from Jordan. A very large scissor between Jordan and Ford, so 7 tenths, with Lammers being the only one to fit in that gap. With the French racetrack, which is actually very difficult to nail, as eventually goes into camp. And then Stebom with a Mistral straight following shortly after. The F1 configuration usually goes into Montreal for 8 and 9, but here 8 is 2.5 kilometers away. And it's Sainz. So Hill in the same straight. In the 555, he is currently 3 times better than himself already in the first sector. The second sector is literally just the straight line, so still useful. Well, 555 here could be in 4th by the end of the lap, maybe even 3rd, as the BMW number 14 goes to the left side of the racetrack to let the others pass by. And 555 goes into the final corner, into pond, turn 13, and crosses the line in a remarkable 3rd place, which becomes 4th shortly after, as Forbes, following the other McLaren, puts the car in 3rd in a number 2 with a 33.992, so only 3 cars were able to get into the 33s. And in 3 minutes is going to be the Pro class, which will likely deliver a 52. So now he still has some chances to get into pole. He is improving, but he will have to do it by the end of the racetrack, thing which Nedorzov is about to do. Well, he still is in the straight, the mainstay, but he already has a half a second advantage over himself, and if he can keep it, this will put him in 5th place from 7th. He lost a couple of times there, going slightly longer. Also, he gained some of it here. A very nice line. As a matter of fact, he goes in 4th place now, after gaining the tiny bit that he needed to get into 4th, as 50 was practically already confirmed. And he still has a 1 lap, maybe 2 if he's lucky, but Hill will cross the line and get into 2nd place, 2 times away from pole position, still being held by Jordan, which at this point I am confident he could keep it. And it was the first lap set by the Mustang driver. He still has a chance, but it will be a slim one to improve, as Sims goes into 8th place, 1 second away from Jordan. The time set time sets a 1 minute and 16 seconds remaining for the silver class to try to get a better chance in their placement. But a name which is currently having a good shot is Tom Curtin for Russell Racing Team, number 81 in the Irish livery, as a Bentley goes a bit off track. He has the opportunity to get into pole. It is still close, but he could be the very person to be able to steal P1 from Jordan. He will get close, as he will get into 2nd place, 55 milliseconds away from Jordan, with a 53.6. He still has a 1 lap to go by 3 seconds, as the Bentley goes to, and I think the number 14 didn't make it in time. In fact, he set the lap which put him in 9th, just at the very tail end of his qualifying session, which then became 10th shortly after, as a Sims put Ricard in 7th place. Curtin still doesn't give up. He still thinks he has it to get into pole. The gap to Hill is a good one, so for the race this could be Curtin's best possible shot to get a win in class. Galamini too is in his car in the 777, about to complete the qualifying and also about to improve his position. He needs at least 2 attempts to get in front of Sims, and then he needs another one to get in front of Ndorzov, and then another one for Phobos, another one for Lammers, another one for Hill, and 2 others for Curtin. So everybody from 3rd to 7th is gapped by a single 10th. As Galamini goes across the line to complete his lap in 54.2, so he will improve, but he will remain 1/10 away from Sims, but in the same time he will go 1/10 in front of Whitburn, who just overtook, oh wait, apologies. Both drivers, Whitburn and Chris Schneider, set the same exact lap time, but Whitburn set it earlier than Chris Schneider, so this will be a 9th attempt with the same exact lap time, and Curtin didn't complete the lap time, so it will be Jordan to be in pole position in class, with Curtin following and Hill in third, as Nedorzov still remains on track, but he has to go into pits. He is not new to the championship, so I don't really understand why he's keeping it on track. Also, Firth and Jacobs had a qualifying ban for tonight, so they didn't set a single lap time, and also we're still here. Which I'm not understanding why. off me. Yeah, Alan only 11th out of the 13 cars that set their lap time. As finally the memo arrived to 444. Very odd since he is not really new, so he should know that after the 12th minute he should be off, but I guess it's just a lapsus. Anyway, the first car which will cross the line will be, as always, the 789. And then it will be the number 620, which is the car I'm more interested about, since this could very well be the car which will put the Honda, well, the car which will put Whitburn in pole. As a matter of fact, it does. With a 53.5 and then Ricard 53.4. So Whitburn doesn't have the pole for now. Senatore goes in 5th. With Zach in 3rd in the Ferrari 331. So now the BMW is in the top spot. As some drivers weren't categorized as an invalid lap time. Like for example is still, oh no, okay, he is on a valid lap time, and not only a valid one, he is in pole, 53.237 for the Swedish driver. But the 52 is still there in the distance. Achievable, but yet not conceived. Although I really think that we will see the 52 shortly, as Eck already goes into the pits. So it feels like something isn't good enough. Because usually you give yourself 2 laps, but if he went into the pits, he probably thinks that it was already a good lap time. But needs some edits, as Nergard will not set a valid lap time, as he went off track just there over the track limits. Whitburn still has the shot. Out of the top 3, he's the only one. Out of the top 4, he's the only one that can still improve, and he is improving. He is 5 times away from the 52 and 3 times away from Eck in pole position into the last corner, into 13, and it's going to be a pole position lap time for Whitburn, 53.155, and Watts follows just behind, 53.060. Another BMW, another time it's RTO Racing Team in pole, but this time it's not Nergard, it's Watts in a 1-6 BMW. Skazitash put the car in 9th, Sadlowski only 10th. Oddly enough. And Senatore in 4th now. Quite surprised by Sadlowski, mostly because there is another car in another class which is in pole, so he certainly can get better. But it will not be in this lap, since he went off. And I'm also looking at the lap he could have set, and it would have been pole. Very likely it would have been pole. 53 point. I think it was a 53.0. It was a 53. It would have been 2nd place. It could have been 2nd by this moment. So he definitely has the car. He definitely has the pace, but he just has to keep it into the limits, which is very difficult because even Whitburn, Eck, and Senatore went off once more. As a matter of fact, Whitburn is into the pits. Wellman put the car in 16th. Scared of track limits. Yeah, in fact, that was a track limit. That wasn't a track limit. That's very close to put the car off track. Track limits here are a very difficult subject to take correctly. And Sadlowski once more went off track. So once more he will remain in 10th. And once more he was about to set a very important lap time, but the very important lap time set was Watts 1, as the BMW is now 1/10 and something more away from Whitburn. 53.0, and Zagdal goes in second place, 53.127, one tenth away from Vats, and 28 milliseconds in front of Whitburn. So Whitburn now in third row, as Nergard is also improving. But with 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go, some people have to move. Salowski being effectively one to watch, since he is... he could have been second by this moment, and yet he went off once more. And I don't understand why he completed the lap anyway. Regal now is the first car on track that could deliver an improvement in his position. As he goes across the line and he will not improve. He still has 2 laps, roughly, to try an improvement. Speaking of which, this practically puts an end to Sadowski's chances to get it in pole, since he didn't go into pits for some reasons, and he still is out on track, as Cassitrash is now in 7th place. 5 times away from pole. As I will keep it with Nergar, because after some mistakes in the earlier lap, he apparently put it together, and now he could be 2 times ahead, with a possible 4th place in his spot. Very loose rear end, very close to the track limits. As he unfortunately went a bit too long in the brakes, and that's also the advantage he had gone. As Axel went off track, so even for him no improvement will happen. Vats goes across the line in a 52.960, so he will be the first and maybe only car to have made it into the 52. As I said earlier, a 52 is possible, you just have to nail it completely, and Vats did it. 52.960, the closest car is Zachtal with a 53.127, and then Whitburn in third. Sadowski was once more 5 times in front of himself, but once more he went off track. So this will be only 10th for a car that was supposed to be in pole. On the bright side, it will be a pleasure to watch him during the race. Senatore is now going across the line in a 53.350. He will remain in 5th. He will not improve. Eck currently in 4th. He will remain in 4th. And Whitburn still with a valid lap time, but he will not improve unless he finds magically 1.5 tenths in the last corner, but I don't think this will happen. He did find a 10th, and then he lost it again, so yeah, he will go straight into the pits, quite frustrated. As Katisash remains the only car on track. Still a valid shot for an improvement. He needs 40 milliseconds. To be exact, 45 milliseconds. To get into 6th place. As he goes for the last corner, and he sets the 789 a fantastic lap time as he goes in 4th place. All of a sudden, 2 times away from Vats, so a very good lap time by Kasitrash, really by surprise. He will now start in 4th. So the 24 drivers lineup will now get into the starting grid, which in 2 minutes will begin its formation lap. But as always, the usual happens, so voilà. I just need OBS to give me some help. There it is. So here we are for our starting grid. Just need this one here. Okay, way better. So Vats will start in P1 with Zachtel alongside him. Behind it's Whitburn in 3rd place in a 6-0, then Kasitrash in 4th, Eck in 5th, Senatore in 6th place, and a BMW number 127 in 7th place. Jordan pole position in class with Curtin alongside him, and then Sadlovsky only 10th, but he will be the one to watch tonight. Hill and Lammers will start in 11th and 12th, with Forbes and Olsov and Sims in 15th place in the Ferrari 42, then Velman only 16th, with Gallamini and Whitburn 17th and 18th, Krishnader and Brown 19th and 20th, Stryker and Schneidman with 3rd, and Jacobs completing the starting grid for tonight. Two rounds still remain. As you can see, Zolder and Suzuka being the next ones to go. As Zolder being also the venue for the upcoming endurance race, 10 hours, on which I will also likely be a driver, also this time. There will also be a commentator spot, so I will double GT. And yeah, you will unfortunately see me for 10 hours, one way or another. Here goes Vats for the formation lap. 126 BMW. And with it also comes a little info about the whole track. Turn 1 and 2, where you go all the way on the outside to try to cut as much curb as possible, but not too much, otherwise one of the bollards, the yellow bollards, could hacks your lap time and therefore give you also a track limit. Then hotel, you aim for the 50 bollard to launch it into the curves, into 3, 4 and then camp 5. slowest, one of the slowest points of the circuit, with the bomb and Mistral. Being the main straight. And it is all straight. I think it's good to give you some history about the track, as it was created on the year 1971. 5.8 kilometers from the very beginning, as this track also has been used in every possible category: Formula 1, GT World Challenge, V Series, F1 Academy. It has 247 different configurations, and now it's used especially for the 1000 kilometers Paul Ricard, but I think if I remember correctly, next year it will not even be in the calendar anymore. But it's mainly used for testing and everything else, thanks to its 247 configurations. The fastest race lap remains the one being set by Sebastian Vettel in 2019, 42.740, so we are around 20 seconds slower, as we are now into bus, turn 9, a very long 180 degree hairpin, into Bendo, turn 10. Every turn of this racetrack is extremely odd, because it's not really a normal racetrack. Every turn it's effectively made to be difficult. So for Bender, for example, you have to brake while turning on the outside. You don't really have to follow the line on the inside. You really have to just aim for the apex at the very late stage of it. Calaban is the easiest corner in the world, at least. And then Luck is the complete opposite, where you also have to brake on the outside and aim for the inside, but just at the very tail end of it, roughly here, to then aim for Pont, turn 13, which is the slowest part of the circuit. But anyway, here we are for the very start. As always, we'll go from the Helicam. And as always, we'll go with the fourth placed car, as we wait for the green light to sparkle. It's green light, and away we go with a very good start by the Honda in third place, which jumps both Casetas and Zakdal. As you can see, also Ek trying the position on the duo. He goes on in front of Casetas. He doesn't do the same on Zakdal. He was aiming for it, but also Senatore jumps Casetas on the outside. And Casetas, who was starting in 4th, is already in 6th place. Here goes Tom Curtin to try to get the lead of the silver class, but he can't make it. It is going to be a contact actually with Sedlowski still in 10th place, as there is also an overtake between Forbes and Hill, with Forbes getting 11th place and Hill going in 12th place. As he is also on the doors of very close to Sims to try to get an advantage out of it. Meanwhile, Sedlowski completely annihilating the Ferrari driver in 9th place in the Ford Mustang, but the same applies in front of it all, where Whitburn and Vats are going to be side by side into the long right-hander. It's going to be Vats which remains on the outside, and oh, Zakdal goes completely out of bounds and likely will lose the position on Eck, who for now remains behind the Ferrari. Was also Casetas was trying to get a position back from Senatore, but that doesn't happen. It's actually going to be Senatore still in front of the duo. Meanwhile, the number 513 is out of track with an incident with Whitburn, very likely, and Veldman. As I'm seeing those three cars quite in difficulty. We'll see the replay after, as it was indeed Whitburn being involved in the incident. But Vats is now in P1 and it remains in P1 in the 1-2-6, but Whitburn just follows behind, and then there is a bit of a leap between this duo and Zakdal behind, as you can see from here. And there's going to be Senatore, Nergard and Cassitrash now in 7th place. The battle for position in 9th place goes on as Sadlowski tries the outside and makes the outside, and that was a very nice move being set there by the RTO car, which is now in 9th place, and the next position is Jordan. I remind that this car here, the one in 9th place, as the German was set to be in the front row of the qualifying session, but he didn't put together a correct lap time in the qualifying session, which put him in 10th. Now it's take 2 of this situation. Whitburn now still on the inside, but this time it's likely going to be the Honda in front, and he will remain in front, as also behind it's going to be a switch of position between the BMW and the Ferrari on the outside, which tries to remain on the grippier part of the circuit. Oh, just goes slightly wide over the curb, but remains in front and also keeps the inside. Sadlowski is showing yellow flags. Something happened to the Ford driver. Oh, he just lost the car and 2 positions. I think it was some contact. Yes, it was some contact. We'll see later, as Zakdal is now going to overtake Vats for position, but the BMW has a better acceleration compared to the Ferrari, which has a good top speed. As Ek has an intention to go 3 wide into turn 1. It's going to be the Ferrari on the outside, outbraking itself, going a bit out of bounds to try to keep the position for themselves. It's also going to be Ek behind, which looks at the situation in a comfortable position. Not so much, because Senatore is just behind and Cassitrash is still on the edge after having passed Nergard. As Vas lost 2 seconds from Whitburn. Well, the Ferrari has the slipstream, and he could take advantage of the BMW driver, which remains on the inside. It's going to be Ferrari against BMW, with the BMW on the inside, and Ek, which will try to follow Vats into the inside of the corner. Ooh, little contact between the two, and the 86 tries to go there as Senatore has to break down. Ooh, that's a car which actually is stopped on track. It's Lammers in 24th place in the 513 on the side of the track. The Ferrari losing the rear a tiny bit, giving some chances to Ek. There's also an incident as Cassitrash has been involved in a contact with another car. We'll have a look just after this corner. Cassitrash was one of the cars battling for the podium in a certain way. I think it will remain like this. As we can have a look, it was between Nergard and the 789. As you can see here, a little contact with Senatore, and oh, that's more than a little contact. And then the incident happened. A very odd situation there. Some netcode happened. So now the question is if Senatore also has damage. As Forbes is also battling there with Hill and Nergard, now only 11th after having crashed into Cassitrash. Nergard will have trouble keeping the car wait, never mind. Apparently he didn't collect as much damage as I thought. As he actually overtook Forbes to get into 10th. And also it's possible to get him a little bit more in front for Ricard. We will also have a look at what happened earlier. So this is what really happened. Oh, there was the McLaren going completely off track and involving few other cars. I would like to have a better look, not gonna lie. So you can see Whitburn completely losing the car, going into the wall, and then... Oh, it was two different incidents. It was also the Bentley 513 getting involved in that incident. So you can see here, and then there is also the Bentley effectively colliding with the Porsche. So this is what happened earlier, and this is also what happened in the background between the 122 and the 105. It was actually a little contact between the leader in class and Sadlowski. Sadlowski nearly put in the race in the grave, and now it's take two of the same situation, but this time Sadlowski will be on the outside. The incredibly long straight line. This time it's going to be Jordan who will give some space to Sadlowski. And now next target is finally for him a class position with Senator in 5th place. Whilst we are at it, I want to see this thing back. So effectively collided with Senatore, but I don't really understand. So have a better look. So the two guys basically became one for some reasons, and that's what happened. Yeah, I think too that Casitrash had some connection issues. Able to pull forward and join the track after the run by. Yeah, we just saw in the replay. This was a 444. Fendorosov collided with the car number 5. As you can see from here, from an inside camera. So he goes back on track, and you have seen the little clunk on the right. It's also now Nedozov is battling with the car in 12th place, effectively creating a bullying effect, taking out 3 cars in total. S777 is now in front of Brown, as Brown overshoots the car and loses the position on Gallamini for 14th place. It's still not over, as I think Brown still wants the position for himself, side by side over the finish line. and Brown is now back in front of the Italian driver, with also the Ford behind following. It's going to be side by side between the two, and the Mustang is now in front of the Italian, with Striker in 15th place. Still another change in position. It's going to be the Ferrari and the Ford battling for 15th. But I have to cut it short since there is a possible switch in position here between Zakta and Ek, which actually doesn't happen. Zakta remains in third. So I thought something else would have happened. Here Galamini lost 2 positions, and then it's going to be Firth and Striker for 15th place, and Firth lost a position on Dutchman, with 16th place being for the British. As behind, there's still a little fight between the two. With Italian, which was battling with Brown for 14th, and now he finds himself in 18th. As he tries again in the last corner. Security car is in the middle of this train, because it's a very long train going from 14th all the way to 20th. As Nergard is now in 10th place. And Casitash is now trying the position on Galamini after the incident earlier on. Oh, some more contact. I think it will be. In fact, it's going to be contact, and Italian is off. And also nearly Wellman getting involved. Can have a better look at it, with Galamini losing the car and also getting hit by Wellman. As Nergard loses the position on Forbes. The McLaren going in front of the 127, but then switchback goes on, and Nergard goes on the inside, tries to get back the position, and it's going to be 10th place for the RTO racing team. West behind. It's going to be contact among 4 cars battling for position. Here it is for 14th place, with Firth on the outside and Striker on the inside, with Brown on the inside and the QRT car in the middle of the two FRL cars, literally sandwiched, with Firth now in 15th place. And there is a switchback once more between Brown and I think the Ferrari driver, who is on the inside, is going to be there for the final corner. As a matter of fact, Firth is still in front of Jacobs, who is now in front of Brown for 16th place. As Schneiderman goes into the pits already. Many passes are happening at the same time. The whole field. This is a very nice battle too. But Cassis is now in 17th place. Very likely a team order there. The Ford Mustang 511 being in front of this train. As in front, Zakta loses the position on Eck on the main straight. Pretty straightforward, that one there. And the Firth gets a position on Striker. For 14th. It's still not over, I think. A Most likely it's going to be Striker who will try to get the position back. As also Sims is battling with Dorsov for 12th place. Which is also 5th place in class. The other end of the main straight, Dr. still maintains the gap with Ek. This time the Bimbo remains in front. Sadlovsky is now in 6th, but he still remains in 6th. His best lap time was a 54.317, so apparently he had a good qualifying shot, but he can't really keep it together in a race too. So it seems like he has the potential, because he clearly has the potential, but every time it seems like he wants to, he needs to contain himself, let's say. Meanwhile here Cassitas did a pass, it was on Striker's Ford. On the inside he goes, and if 511 goes behind him. As Nergard goes into the pits, early pit for the Norwegian, 40 minutes to go, so definitely an undercut to say the least, but he also needs to repair the car, that's likely the reason. It would be also a lengthy pit stop for him. Sadlovsky here going side by side with, well, side by side already isn't anymore. Center is now behind Sadlovsky, that was for 5th place. But a very nice race by Jordan, who is keeping pace with it. San Antonio and Sadlovsky aren't really slow drivers, and Jordan is just there. He clearly thinks, well, at the beginning probably didn't think it, but now I'm starting to have a doubt. I really, well, I could see Jordan trying to get a position on Senator and Sadlovsky, because earlier on he didn't really defend the position on. Oh, Firth is off! Firth off! I think it was a contact with Cassitarash. You can see here, Cassitarash tries to stay on the inside. Yeah, it was definitely some contact with Cassitarash. Then here we are on the same moment as earlier. We'll have a better look after, because I think there could be a move here between Zaktan and Ek. And then behind it's a freeway battle with Curtin also staying there, analyzing the situation. But I really think that Jordan will try the position on Senatore. I really think that Jordan doesn't want just to win the race. He wants to compete with the pro drivers. a good evolution that Jordan had in the championship. At the beginning he wasn't really at the front as now. Then he was more of a midfield driver, as now Zakdal is in front attack. Switch positions for the two. As I was saying, at the start of the championship he was more in the midfield than anything else. And then as the races went through and as the experience with the car went together with it, he started to become one of the usual sitters in the front of the field of his own class, and now he's also battling with people of other class, which is nice to see. It was Jacobs going in front of Striker. You can see here the Ferrari, which has a terrible acceleration, but it has the top speed. He's in a position down on the inside on the Ford Mustang, the car number 43. Speaking of free play, this was the incident between the two cars from a different view. Yeah, it was not... I really don't understand what was the idea there. I really don't understand. I can see that he was closed off track, but like you can see the track. It's just tarmac, so it's not like you lose anything. So yeah, it was way too aggressive, and that will probably be penalized, I suppose. It's not even suppose. I'm practically sure it was simply the opposite of useful. So who keeps the pace together with Sadlowski and Jordan behind, but for now he is on the slipstream. I really think that after the slipstream disappears, he will be in trouble. But behind Sims is about to lose the position on the Zozov. I really think that Sims also slowed down. He definitely slowed down. I don't understand. I think I am a good informer and commentator, but sometimes I really have difficulties understanding and explaining what happens. But in this case, seems just let the Zozov pass by for apparently no reason. I can't even see an incident between the two. The 42 wasn't involved in a single incident in the whole race altogether, and he just let him pass. So, okay, I guess. Maybe they're friends. Fair was no luck. Yeah, definitely that was between buffers and now. It's the second time in a row that a good race goes into flames. So yeah. Furthermore, if you want to say it, it was also in the worst possible manner, because it wasn't just pushed away, it was pit maneuvered altogether. So, not really sure what was the idea there again. And to stay as objective as possible, I can't even say my opinions, obviously. Meanwhile, Jordan, I think he is starting to think that he is there for a reason. I think Senatore may become a target. Oh, he was trying there on the inside. He was trying to fit the car in a literal paper sheet, as here Striker was trying the position on Jacobs on the outside of all the places. Although we saw the outside works in this racetrack, that was definitely not the moment though of cambered long right-hander with marbles on the outside. Yeah, no. Simply unknown. There are other places where the outside works. That's not one of those. That's definitely not one of those. Bellman now here. I think with Brown and Striker. I think someone will go into the pits in the upcoming minutes. But I was right. I was effectively right. Someone went into the pits. It was Jacobs now in 19th in the car number 43. You can see this little pack. Assetto and Jordan are... Oh wait, a contact happened, I think. Okay, no contact, it's just that both were battling. Let me have a better look at it, because I think some exchange in paint job may have happened, but I just want to see it better. Oh, it was... effectively it was the 105 going on the outside and trying something impossible on Senatore, but it's clear that now Jordan wants to fight with it, and more importantly, I really think that this was not for an overtake. It was more to have, as Forbes and Sims go into the pits, it was more to have Senatore out of the slipstream zone and effectively letting the BMW lose the little advantage it had on the straight lines. Because now the gap between Senatore and Sedlowski is 1 second. Is 1 second. Oh, okay. It's 1 second. And maybe it was a very nice move for the future. Not for now. So it was an impossible move, effectively, yes. But now Senatore is away from Sedlowski. Now Jordan has the chance to strike without any help for the BMW driver. And that will be for 6th overall. Situation now tries on the inside. As Whitburn goes for the undercut. Well, the undercut not anymore. It's more and more an overcut, this one here, and rightly so. As this track is very much overcut prone. Since it's so easy to overtake. You really want to have the tires for the end. As now Senatore has to run as quick as possible, since his opponent, Matt Jordan, is now exiting the pits. In terms of pit stops, I can tell you that Ricard had only 7 seconds of damage in the front of the car. No one pit for damages. Jordan and Forbes lost 2 seconds, possibly to get their car placed correctly. So those are 2 seconds that he may have lost. He may have gained back now that he goes for his undercut. Jacobs didn't change the tires. Drive-through for Striker for exceeding track limits. And also now everyone else is into the pits except David Hill from Amigos Racing Team in the 555. And that's it. Also. So Brown stays out and Firth does the same. So 3 cars remain out. The important thing is to see where will Watts come out. Remind that Whitburn was in the lead earlier on. And I think he will remain in the lead. You can see there was a car exiting. I didn't see it was I think it was Watts, but Whitburn will remain just front. Watts in 5th, Zagdal now out of the pit, and ooh, that's important for Zagdal. He remains in front of Eck, but he has cold tires. And also, Senatore jumped Zedlowski in the pits. It's very important. I don't understand why. I'll be honest, since their time in the pits was the same. But apparently one of the two simply had a terrible pit entry and the pit exit. Although this advantage is short-lived, as Sadlowski is already in front of Senatore. Momentarily, maybe? Oh, there was a little chance there. There is a little chance here. Oh, he just goes in front. Easily, I would say. As Firth and Brown went into the pits, so Hill remains in front in the lead of the race, but he still has to pit. Another pit stop takes you 1 minute and 5 seconds. So now he will be roughly in 8th place. As now Sadlowski clearly has a better shot at it. He goes in front once more on the outside for 6th place. And once more, I think Senatore will go for the same exact move. Oh, in fact, you can see Sadlowski already going for inside, trying to keep the position for himself, and he does so. And he stays in front this time. He defends well. So Senatore goes for the same exact move as earlier, which obviously didn't work. Or at the very least, it was more difficult to nail. Oh, there is a contact between the 1-2 and the 1-1-2 between Salossi and Senatore. For 5th place. With both cars that went out of track limits, and Hill is back in 3rd place in class, only 6 times away from Curtin, and with fresh tires too. Oh, there was a move there. Oh, Sedlowski's off. What happened there? I think it was a track limit. Oh, it was a drive-through. Oh yeah, it was a drive-through. And he just said that's it. It was a drive-through for exceeding track limit. I just saw it prior to the replay, and that's the end of the race for Sedlowski. As there is a switch between Eck and Zakdal there. The Ferrari is still on the inside. This battle has been going on for several minutes at this point. There's now only roughly 10 laps remain of this race. Still plenty of time to get a track limit and a drive-through. Ooh, we don't made a mistake there. It wasn't seen. We definitely made a mistake. I thought it was just prior to there. Now that is just half a second away from Whitburn. So we still have a battle for the lead and a battle for the 3rd place overall. As Zakdal there defends the inside against Eck. That was close between the two. No, it remains the same. In the last lap it was the best lap for Zakdal, 53.542. So 53.8 for Ek. Still not as good as the one in front of him. Which in the last lap was set at 53.575, but in this lap at 53.482. 53.8, 53.9 for the duo here. So Whitburn here is definitely losing some time from corner to corner. So 53.560. Nearly a tenth has been lost there for the British driver. Against Vatsa in the 1-2-6. As in the background, there is still here the fight for the 13th place, with Sims on the outside and Jacobs defending the position. Against the number 42. I can still see some damage on the car, so I don't know if it has to be repaired or not. I suppose no. Oh, this is close between Whitburn and Vats, with Vats already going over the balcony to let his opponent know that he is there. No, it remains like this. There is also the battle between Curtin and Hill for second place in class. There is a battle between Zucker and Eck. There is the battle between Forbes and Cassitarash, which just happens now as Cassitarash passes the McLaren driver. And there is also a battle between Jacobs and Sims with, again, no overtake happening. This time it is Sims on the outside who makes the overtake for a brief second. For a brief instant it was Sims in front of Jacobs, and now it's Jacobs in front. And Eck sets the fastest lap of the race so far, 53.257, gaining 2 times on Zakdal and nearly 8 on Whitburn, 5 seconds away though. If these two start battling, there is a slight chance that this could become a 4-way battle for the lead of the race in 7 laps. Maybe even 8 laps to be fair. Yeah, I think it's going to be 5 laps to the end of the race. This time the BMW is slightly further away than the usual. Completely different here, where Eck is actually closer than the usual. He thinks about the inside and becomes the outside. But the BMW will go for a switchback. Oh, nearly a contact between the two cars. Oh, as Zakdal closes the door as quickly as possible, as also Hill makes the pass on Curtin for position. As this was the move for second place in class on the main straight, giving as little space as possible to Curtin. Whitburn here, P1. That's behind. 53.7 for both. It was a 54.0 for the duo behind. This time around, Vats is 5 times away from Whitburn. I don't think it's going to be enough to get closer. In the background, Jordan is actually closing by on Senatore in the last lap. Jordan gained 4 temps on the Italian driver, 7 seconds away from Eck and Zakdal. As expected, nothing happens here, although you can see how close this is. With different lines between the two. Into Bendo. I don't know if Vats is actually faster or if the duo is on the same boat. But it's actually Vats just keeping the rhythm thanks to the slipstream. Which helps, obviously. It helps a lot here, especially. Because you can gain up to 3 temps. But he has to nail the exit here. As only 10 minutes remain for this race. Getting very close. Once more. Nothing really goes into the goal. Meanwhile here, for a brief moment, the gap was 0. Sinzaka and Eck. With Eck still keeping the fastest lap of the race so far, 53.257. Practically a photocopy machine in Vats boots, since he made a 53.8. Once more, same exact lap time as Wisborne, 53.8. Only 12 milliseconds is the difference between the two. Ooh, there was a mistake there for Whitburn, really losing the rear end of the car as he goes into the inside, defends the inside, tries to stay on the main racing line at the same time. But that's very close and yet not able to effectively kill the possibility. When it happened, he still remains behind, he still struggles, and by this point I really think that actually Vats is faster than Whitburn. So that car is a very quick in exit. Seven minutes and a half to go. 4 laps remain. Maybe more, maybe 5. Some Eck is very close. Eck is very close on Zakdal. Zakdal made just a mistake entering Mistral and going over the curb. That little mistake could be death sentence for the Swedish driver. Who defends the inside. With the duo going side by side into the corner, it remains side by side with Eck going slightly off track, but it's not going to be a track limit violation somehow, and nearly colliding the two cars there on entry of Besseux into turn 9. As Vatsier and Whitburn also battling for position. Time is running out. I really think it's going to be 4 laps to go. As Jacobs, oh, this is important here. There is a 4-way battle and Sims loses the position on Velvan and Furf goes on inside. That's for position number 15 on the overall. Oh, there's a contact also between the McLaren, between the Ferrari and the Ford. There is no McLaren here, by the way. And the Mustang is now in front of the Ferrari in blue colors. Velman is in that middle of silver drivers and Jacobs is in the front of the train. Train being composed by Jacobs, Veldan, Furf and Sims. 2 Ferrari, 1 Mustang and 1 Porsche 992. Yes, I know, it's 911, 992, I know. I just had to be short there. As I thought an overtake would have happened at that moment. But the QRT car remains in 13th. All cars being damaged one way or another. And also is now a very far away shore, so they have nothing to lose but only to gain. Since 8 seconds is practically impossible in this moment. As I now approach the main straight with Furf very interested on making a move soon and instantly, I would say, as he goes in front of Velman. And he may also go in front of the Ferrari. On the outside he tries. There is a chance. He keeps it on the outside. It's still going. Oh, there is a contact between the 2 cars. As the Ferrari stays on the racing line. As Velman goes on the inside. As Furf remains in front of Velman. Oh, there is another contact between the 2 cars. As Furf still on the inside. More contact maybe, nothing at all there. But Velman is now in front of Furf. Oh, and the Porsche is off. Little mistake by the Porsche, and I think it's also going to be Sims to try the overtake there. Actually nothing happens, and Velman is now in 15th place with Sims in 16th and Jacobs with a second of gap to the trio behind. In the main straight, Whitburn and Vats and Zaktan and Eck. And actually it is the same scenario that we have seen more than once at this point. The thing which is different is that the time is way less now. 2 minutes and 30 to go, 2 laps to go, if you will. Maybe 2, maybe 1, wait. Wait, no, okay, no, it's 2 laps to go. Narrowly, but it's 2 laps to go. By 4 seconds, it's going to be, no, way more. Maybe just by 4 seconds, it's going to be 2 laps to go. Accuracy now it's going to be 2 seconds prior to the finish line. As Furf is now on the outside and closes the door on the Ferrari driver. It really happened as quickly as possible. On the outside, and you can see the Ferrari on the left of your screen trying to stay there, but I must simply close the door as soon as possible. Jeff, you have to shut up every time. So I think 2 straights to go, but has some distance to Whitburn. The same can't be said about these two. And by this point, I'm really not sure if Eck wants to make the overtake now. If all the moments are available, this is not the one he wants. Because he finally is in a good position to make one, but there will be another lap, very likely. Unless both Whitburn and Watts slow down, which I really don't think happens. So by sheer seconds, by a single second and a half, there is going to be another lap. So Eck will be grateful for that. So white flag. And last 2 minutes to go. And drive through for Furf for exceeding track limits violation number 3. He went on to get a 4th one, and he will get a drive-through, which will put him last on track. And Eck could be the happiest man in the field right now, thanks to this extra lap. But he has to use it. Up in front, it is over. Whitburn is gapping Watts. And Zagdal, on the other hand, did the opposite. He lost some time on Eck. He is closing. He is closing. He still remains behind. Side by side. Eck on the outside goes for the switchback. This could be the very last opportunity he has. And he doesn't use it at all. He remains on the outside, and remains behind. Tries to get on a different racing line. And yet, he can't really do much about it. He has to do a Chase Briscoe at Watkins Glen. I think it's going to stay like this, and Whitburn, Matt Whitburn in the number 620 Honda, goes on to win the Paul Ricard round, with Watts just behind, Zagdal behind in 3rd place, and Eck in 4th. Fastest lap of the race for him, but 4th place for the Swiss driver. Vincenzo Senatore in 5th, as Jordan wins in silver class in the car 105 in a Ford Mustang. And then David Hill is in 2nd place, with Tom Curtin completing the race in the podium position. Then Cassitrash in 9th. Forbes goes on to complete the race in 10th place, with Nergard in 11th. With Nedozov just behind in 12th place. Furfer, who unfortunately will be 18th by the end of it all. Jacobs in 13th. Velban in 14th. Sims in 15th place. Brown in 17th, in 16th, and Galamini in 17th place. So this was the round number 5 of the Formula Racing League Master League. Seifert in 18th at the end, Sadowski, then Striker, then Schneider, then Schneidman, Whitburn, and Lammers in 24th place. So this was tonight's round. Next time it's going to be Zolder in September 26th, and the weekend after it's going to be actually 10 hours of Zolder, and then Suzuka for 90 minutes of racing in the finale of the championship. And in all of this I actually am dumb, since it's I said 5 for the whole evening. It's actually the 6th round. I can't count. Fantastic job by myself. So next time it's going to be 7th round in Zolder, and then Suzuka being the 8th one and the final one. In the meantime, I was Cristiano Romano. I hope you all enjoyed tonight's race and tonight's commentary. Be sure to check the YouTube channel in the next round.
Green light. Go, go, go.
In the meantime, have a good evening, good night.